So if you're browsing this site, I'm assuming that you're here because you're thinking about potentially learning how to program and learning a little bit about the basics of computer science. We'll talk a little bit about how those are different as we go along. But in general, programming is a skill. It's something you do. It's applied. Computer science is an intellectual discipline. There's a lot of conceptual sort of hierarchies and information we learn about. But in general, computer science as a field concerns itself with how to solve problems. So algorithms are the concern of computer science. This is a problem-solving strategy. The computer program frequently will implement an algorithm, and we create that by programming. So computer science and programming have this great, really nice relationship between sort of applied and more conceptual knowledge. But if you're here, you might want to learn a little bit about both, and we'll do that as we go along. So why might you learn how to program? There's lots of reasons people think, oh, I'm going to go and get rich as a software developer. Maybe so, but I feel like there's a few more, a little bit less monetary, shall we say, reasons that you might want to learn how to program. First one is computers are by far the most powerful multi-purpose tool that humans have ever created for solving problems. If you have a problem you want to solve, if you want to make the world a little better place, you're probably going to end up using a computer as part of the solution to your problem. And as computers have, computer science has really taken over in lots of different domains, we've seen that in many cases, the solution to any problem involves a computer. I'm not arguing that computers can solve every problem, but there are many problems in which computers can help. So that's reason number one. You want to solve problems. Reason number two, you like to build things. You like to create. This is a creative discipline. I think probably the worst stereotype about computer scientists is that they're doing this boring, drudgerous work, in a dark room. This is not a dark room. Nothing could be farther from the truth. Computer science and programming, the task of computer science, is tremendously creative. It will engage your entire brain, the logical left side of the brain, and the creative, right side of the brain. And that's because when you write computer programs, you're actually writing for two different audiences. You're writing for the computer, and the computer is very strict about how things are going to work. So you've got to use that logic side of your brain to satisfy the computer, write correct programs. But you're also writing for other human beings. There's a huge amount of style and design that goes in, even to just the code, much less if you think about the user interfaces that you use as you interact with computers and websites and apps. Those are also created by people who know a little bit about computer science, frequently a lot about computer science and programming. So there's an explicit design aspect in terms of how things look and how they interact with their users, but there's also a design aspect to code because you have to reuse that code, other people have to understand it, and so you're trying to write code that's beautiful to other humans, but also correct to the computer. But overall, this is a highly creative discipline. I think about it sometimes a lot like art or craftsmanship, like woodworking or carpentry. It's a little more applied than just creating something super abstract using art, but it's also intensely creative and a huge amount of fun once you get over some of the initial frustrations. All right, third reason to learn how to program, my opinion, a little bit about computer science, is because it will change the way you think. So maybe you're not planning on becoming a software developer, or maybe it turns out you don't like writing code very much, but learning how to write small programs and learning how to think about problems like a computer scientist will change the way your brain works. It'll make you more precise, it'll make you better able at giving instructions and thinking through how to solve problems. So the process of coming up with small programs that allow computers to solve problems also trains your own brain to think in really precise ways about how to solve problems. And the reason why computers are so good at this for us is they don't take any sort of vagueness, they don't take any sort of imprecision. A computer isn't like, oh yeah, okay, well you were almost correct, so I'll go with it. They are very, very precise and demanding, and so they create the requirement that we be very precise about what we want something to do. So if you write a program that's even slightly wrong, it just ends up not working. And this type of intellectual rigor can really rub off in the way that you think about other types of problems. So even if you end up not writing any code after you finish this course, learning how computers process information, learning how to write small computer programs, learning a little bit about computer science will help change the way that you solve other problems, even if you're not solving them, at least in part, by writing computer code. So I think those are 3 great reasons to learn how to program. I think a lot of people should consider learning how to program. Certainly not going to claim that everyone should know how to program or learn how to program. It's also not for everyone. It's like anything else. Some people love it. Some people feel okay about it. Some people don't like it so much. If you don't like how to program, you might still find yourself doing it because it's just such a good way to solve a problem that you want to solve, that it's really the problem that drives you and the code is how to get there. That's fine. There's a lot of people out there who program for that reason. There's other people who both really like to solve problems and turn out to enjoy the craftsmanship of programming. And that, of course, is maybe even a little better because you enjoy not only what you're accomplishing, but the steps it takes to get there. Regardless, I hope that this class is a great way, and these materials are a great way to get you started thinking about programming and sets you off on a really good foot. This is something that's tremendously fun, super cool, creative, great way to solve problems, and will change how you think.